Kev here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me go all out up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me act a fool up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me lose my cool up in here, up in here.
Well, you don't want to lose your cool.
No, I can't do that.
Because we got to tell the streets.
We back up.
Back up. And whether you are a Democrat or a Republican,
we don't care.
Irrelevant. This week is super important, and it's super important because it was Veterans Day this week. Mm-hmm. You know, you can travel anywhere in the world. As much as I love Poland, or much as I enjoyed my time in Haiti, as much as people go all around the world, the greatest country in the world is right here in the United States of America. That's right. And the reason why it's so great is because of our veterans protecting our freedoms. Our veterans, like Sergeant Ledbetter, right here. Yeah, let's give it up for Sergeant Ledbetter. Because, and I'm trying to give it up energy, man, because it's like, you know, whatever political spectrum you're on, you're allowed to be on that spectrum because of dudes like Sarge. Today, we're going to talk about a connection between wrestling and the military, because really, it was never a big deal until post-World War II. And after World War II, that's kind of when things started to open up. And, you know, doing the research for the show, the first one that popped in my mind is when people say the name Fritz von Erich, immediately their brain goes to the Brady Bunch, right? Like, no matter how wild the Von Erichs were off the stage, in front of the camera, they were the, you know, quintessential nuclear family, were good value. But Fritz, when he started, he was a Nazi.
He sure was.
And they portrayed him as if he was a Nazi. He had red boots and black trunks, and he had a cape with the Iron Cross on the back. And he would step in the ring, and people would just, I mean, let him have it, man. Yeah. They let him have it. But let's back up a little bit. Why do you think, and I want to go to Sarge right away, being the military man with experience and a veteran himself, why do you think the connection, Sarge, is so intense between professional wrestling and the military? Do you think it's because it's easy to tell a story between good and evil that way? Do you think it's a lot of patriotism, all of the above? What do you think?
Yeah, it gets the blood flowing, gets your heart kind of pumping a little bit. You start pounding your chest and pounding your fist, and you want to see the bad guy get taken out. And if he's a foreigner, he's a heel.
That's 100% true.
In pro wrestling, that's how it works.
Do you think that that's a good thing? I know I'm skipping ahead, but I've always thought this is interesting. Kev, I want your opinion too, obviously. But like, do you think that's cheap heat? Do you think that's cheap, or do you think that that's a real? On some level, I don't want to say it's cheap, but it is easy. But what do you think? Like, do you think that that's a good thing? Do you think that's a bad thing? Because I think we can, as we get on with the show and we start talking about, you know, the Gulf War controversy, it opens that up a little bit. What are your thoughts up front, though? Is it cheap or is it not cheap?
I hate the term cheap heat. I think anything that gets a reaction, is it's heat.
Mm-hmm.
Either heat or it's not heat.
Right.
Yes, you can go after the low-hanging fruit. This guy's foreign. I'm American. My dad was in the military, whatever. And then he insults your dad in the crowd and says he's a coward. Is that cheap heat, or is that doing exactly what you should do?
I agree with you. I think that, you know, the basement mark, you know, we'll talk about the cheap heat and label it cheap, but the basement mark is, I mean, it's like Dante's Inferno. He's like in purgatory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like he enjoys wrestling enough to hang around and complain about it. He's too smart to be worked and too dumb to know what he's talking about. So he's living in that gray area of.
He's like a groundhog.
Right. So, but Kevin, before we go, what's cheap heat?
Cheap heat. That's like that. How would I say this? Cheap heat is something that's like kind of obvious to. It's obvious to say, like, hey, this guy's over here is foreign, and he said you people got all the slang, you people, and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's cheap heat right there.
Yeah, and it's really bad to get cheap heat right here in Dayton, Ohio.
Exactly.
There you go. There's the cheap heat right there. But like that they push a lot of buttons, and like you said, Sarge, like, is it really cheap heat if you're making people upset? It's all about knowing your audience, because you watching the show, I'm watching all these tribute to the troops show, and it's hard not to watch. It's hard to watch those and not get emotional. It's hard, and I'm sure it's for you. It's hard to watch and not get real emotional, because like you watch Kelly just go down the line and kiss all these guys on the lips, and then you watch the girls jump in the crowd, and you watch Rey Mysterio come out there with the Mexican flag and the stars and stripes and the other flag, and it's such a great positive energy. But the reason why that works is because it's obvious, like you said, like, and that's, we're all old enough to remember when the war on terror started. No matter how you feel about it, there's still dudes over there sleeping in their boots trying to kill terrorists to stop or prevent, in a lot of instances, another 9/11. So watching that stuff is fun, but like, why do you think it was so, like, what do you think the connection is so strong? Because I want to ask you, Kev, because like Vince McMahon, whatever you want to say about him, dude loves America.
Oh yeah,
celebrates America. Every time there's a WrestleMania, that America the Beautiful performance, always top notch.
He always has to get somebody that embodies America.
Aretha.
You got Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
Reba McEntire.
Reba McEntire. Will you stop playing? Will you stop? But you're right. Foreign heel like Fritz, that was hot at the time, and then going all up to the Gulf War, and a lot of people, we're talking about the Gulf War, folks. That trouble between Iran and Iraq was brewing, and Iran was actually the babyface in that, believe it or not, and Saddam Hussein was the aggressor, and we were just wrestling was just kind of using it as a way to get heat. Introducing, Colonel Mustafa and General Adnan. We'll talk about Sergeant Slaughter's role here a little bit later. But like that pushed a lot of buttons too, and that was kind of easy. Let me ask you this, and even though we're starting off hot, when they introduced Muhammad Hassan, Mark Copani, who's actually not Arabic but Italian, why do you think they didn't go the military route with him? Do you think that was too much at the time?
So here's the difference there. So during that particular war, it was more of a race thing than it was a war.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Whereas maybe World War II was more country versus country. Right. This was more of you're of that descent, you're automatically a heel.
Right. It was World War I and II. It was, and they didn't do really much of World War I, but World War II, it was like, it's the fascists and the communists versus freedom.
Right.
And the fascists and the communists had white skin. The bad guys in the war on terror, after 9/11, they were all of the same country, right? Or all the same race. Do you think it's more race or religion?
Well, it's race to people that aren't educated.
Right.
So to the majority of the people in a vacuum, it's race. But the people that actually, the people that actually break it down and understand what they're hating, they might understand it's religion. Yeah. But how many people actually break it down like that?
It's too complicated.
Right.
It's too hard to do a little bit of research and figure out what you actually are hating and what you're actually saying.
There were a lot of fundamentalist Muslims in Detroit. Detroit's the biggest Arab population that were dancing in the streets at 9/11. And they very quickly got a beat down thrown their way.
Oh, good.
But there's a lot of Arabic Christians, Chaldeans from Iraq. They got a lot of heat just because they were Arab, but they weren't fundamentalist Muslim.
Yeah, business owners in the Midwest, especially the rural communities. If it was like an Arabic quickie mart owner, very cliche, but they were getting their businesses were in jeopardy. Bricks thrown through the window, a lot of things. They were getting drug out of their own businesses and beat up. How can you get mad at people? I know it's stupid, but how can you get mad at people for pumping their chests and being patriotic?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wrestling's crazy like that too because it's all about good and evil. Like, let's say you had Volkov and Corporal Kirchner at WrestleMania 2.
Yeah.
That flag match.
Yeah.
You know, you had something like that. And like I said, it's all about good and evil. You want to see America win, but in the contrast, you see, you know, the Soviet Union, they coming up and they're trying to do what they do. So Vince is trying to do the whole thing of, hey, let's go ahead and let's kind of blur the lines of reality a little bit, kind of bring this in and see where it goes.
I think you're right about that because there was a whole lot of anti-American, or not anti-American, but anti-Iranian sentiment at the time with the in the early 80s, you know, with the hostage crisis and things like that. There was, you know, a lot of, you said, sometimes people will say it's a layup or cheap heat, but honestly, to me, it's like you said, it works because it worked the opposite in Japan, you know, because post World War II, it was let's find the most cliche American we can find and bring them over here because the Japanese, whether they're right or wrong or agree or disagree, you know, we just dropped an atomic bomb on them twice.
Right.
And like they were reeling because the United States was like, enough is enough, completely flattened them. And it was very easy in Japan to have anti-American sentiments. Did you guys watch that Godzilla -1 movie?
I
have not seen the whole movie.
Okay. It's awesome. It's really good, but it takes place right after World War II, during World War II.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of the anti-American sentiment built into that, not because we hate America because they're Americans.
So you get to see it from their side.
Correct. Yep. You see it from their side. And it's really, I mean, it's a great film.
Well, maybe they shouldn't have bombed us. Maybe they shouldn't have attacked us on Pearl Harbor. We wouldn't have smacked them in the mouth.
Right. Exactly. But from their perspective, they brought in cliche Americans as heels. Stan Hansen, Terry Funk,
Brody.
Here's
Terry Gordy.
Yep.
Dr. Death.
Yeah. Just all these sloppy animals. The decadent.
Swine.
Right. Right.
Swine.
They weren't bringing in, right, but they, like Hogan, obviously people like Hogan worked over there, but their big stars were like cliche American. Like, if you go to Japan, those people are awesome. They're respectful, they're kind, they're clean cut. They look at Americans like a Jerry Springer show sometimes, though, and that was kind of the easy heat there. Did Sergeant Slaughter wrestle in Japan? Was he a heel in Japan?
I don't know that.
I don't think so. I couldn't find anything.
The one thing interesting about the Japan crowd, so after, say me and you were a team, we're Americans, so we go over there. Even if we were to lose and we were heels, they would still give us the nod. Good fight. Good fight.
Fight
good fight. They would respect us as fighters, even though we lost.
You're right, and you're right about that too, Kev. It's a very unique crowd because they present pro wrestling like it's the NFL.
Yeah,
in Japan, they don't present pro wrestling like it's like here, where it's like a soap opera, rock concert, whatever. That's why there's not a whole lot of Japanese people with gimmicks. I think that's why Shinsuke Nakamura is so over.
Yeah,
because he's really the first, not the first, but he's really like the main flamboyant dude.
And that's what makes it so hard for me to get into Japanese wrestling is because. And this isn't racist. This is when I look at them, I want something to stand out from the other.
Right.
And the names run together.
Yes.
And Tanahashi, Takahashi,
Takashita.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this guy wore black trunks.
Yep. This guy wore red trunks.
This guy wore navy blue trunks.
Yep.
And I only watch them once or twice here and there.
Yep.
I'm not going to learn them.
It's tough. And when they bring them over here, like Kenzo Suzuki or Tajiri, they really make them stand out. Even the white guy, Tensai, who they try to present as Japanese. I love that. I thought Matt Bloom he's great. He's a good worker. We got to go to commercial. We come back. We're going to talk about professional wrestlers who are actually in the military and elite military. We're going to get also some more insight on how special they were from Sarge. We're going to go pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering
You good today, bud?
chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck.
You good today,
They
Kev?
think of Band-Aid or Sledgehammer Solutions. Band
With Ben Kimera
Drop
and Big
crazy in
Kev,
that thing.
right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
We are card subject change. I'm Big Kev. He's been Kimera. He is Sergeant Ledbetter.
Oh,
Big Kimera's back, y'all.
back, y'all.
Is he better than ever?
Better than ever. Better than ever. And we are sponsored by KB Toys.
Yes.
KB
buddy.
Toys. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the holiday season, so you might as well go ahead and get your KB Toys shopping on. Get your catalogs. They got the catalogs in the newspaper.
I used to love the 3 for $10, Ben.
Oh,
You
my
remember
God.
that in the front of
Yes.
the store?
Yeah.
It'd be Hasbro's, whatever. There'd be everything in that 3
Whole
for 10,
bunch of
Ben.
everything. A
bunch
smorgasbord
of
of toys.
Yes.
I have a story about my mom and KB Toys.
Uh-oh.
She used to work there for the holidays, right?
Yeah.
And she I know this will seem far-fetched. You know, Michigan, there's like a bunch of reptiles, right? Like there's just all the water. So she's at KB Toys working, and this frog jumps out from the top shelf on top of her and scares her. And she backpedals and knocks over everything like a cartoon. Knocks over, boom, 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 boom.
Domino.
Wow.
Great stuff.
Oh my God.
Hilarious. I know I'm telling the story poorly, but it was literally like a cartoon. She said, knocked over like 4 aisles of toys because she went flying backwards because this frog came right off the top shelf, hit her right in the face.
Oh wow.
See, I always thought Frogger was in Detroit crossing the street.
It is.
But that's a new game. That's a new way to play
That's a new
Frogger.
way. But don't forget, the frog has a gun.
Oh, right.
Mm.
Yeah.
The frog has a gun.
Yeah.
This is an AK-47 program.
That's right. That's right. So obviously wrestling is a competitive thing. It's a cousin to real athletics. So people who are overachievers in life are attracted to wrestling on a high level. And doing the research for the show, I wanted to make this a whole segment because whether they're a good wrestler or a bad wrestler or someone who I dislike, like specifically Lacey Evans.
Don't love Lacey, yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Keep going before you go on a
I'm about to
rant.
say, yeah.
Like there were people from the military that were a part of incredibly elite units that left the military and became pro wrestlers. Like I know that Montez Ford was a Marine, and so was Randy Orton, and he got in trouble.
We don't mention
Randy Orton as a Marine.
You go
Dishonorable
AWOL,
discharge, right?
You go AWOL, you get a dishonorable discharge. You're no longer allowed to claim that you were a military.
He's out.
You're you're not actually
ever. You don't entitled to benefits or anything, right?
If you get a dishonorable discharge,
Yep.
you are legally not even allowed to tell people you are a veteran.
How long do you have to stay in to get a pension?
That you have to retire. So
Yeah.
you have to say you're talking 20 plus.
Yeah. All right.
He didn't even make it 20 minutes.
So he just got a picture of him in the
Which they do that probably week 1.
Yeah.
I think he was 2 weeks in boot camp and then went AWOL.
And then went, oh wow.
Yeah, they
horrible.
found him on the run.
Oh, he about to
Well,
I'm gone.
Let's talk about something positive, because even though he was not a good wrestler, Corporal Kirchner,
Right.
Yeah.
not a good wrestler, but he was an elite Army Ranger paratrooper. I didn't know that.
Yes,
Did you know that?
I knew that.
So he was actually kind of one of the higher ups, and I'm going to dovetail this into Perry Saturn was as well, right?
Army Ranger.
Was he Green Beret or Army
I think
Ranger?
Army Ranger.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
But okay, so talk a little bit about like how elite you have to be to
Yeah,
be
these are the
paratrooper
top.
ranger.
These are the top 1%.
Yeah.
So paratroopers, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Green Berets, all those are your top. So when you meet someone, if they try to tell you that they're that,
I know this is a sensitive subject for
they're
Sarge.
more than likely lying to you.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
First of all, those guys don't talk about it.
Yes.
The legit ones, you'll never know, because they carry their classification for life. They say like, oh, you're a Marine for life or whatever. Yes, that's true. But these guys are the elite group. You'll never know. They're not going to go around and be like, oh yeah, I was an Army Ranger, bro.
Do they lie?
Well, oh yeah.
Like if I
met 4 Navy SEALs last week on the basketball court.
right. But like if I'm like
Yeah.
I'm a Navy SEAL and my job is to kill people, I'd be like, yeah, I was a janitor.
Oh yeah, they'll tell you they
Like,
were.
I was a mess cook.
They'll just tell you they were in ops, or they'll make
Yeah.
up something, communications.
That's
whatever.
what I thought.
Yeah.
If they're legitimate, they're not going to talk.
There's a lot of words in the military that can be used as generic, like blanket terms.
Yeah.
Ops is one.
Mhm.
Infantry is a very blanket term.
Yeah.
It
So-
could mean that you were in infantry, you were just a nobody, but it also meant that you could have been doing special hits for Obama. You know what I mean? So it just depends on what, but they won't talk about it.
So somebody tell you like, hey, I was a sniper in the Army.
That could be true.
Okay.
Those guys you could be a spotter and a sniper. They usually work in tandem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So usually the spotter is left or right
Yeah.
somewhere, and he's the eyes for the sniper.
That's to do with the chart, right?
He may have a chart. He's going to have the best binoculars money can buy. I can tell you that.
Oh, got to.
Yeah. He's the eyes.
Not like that.
Yeah.
So those two guys were incredibly elite. We'll talk about Lacey Evans for a second. The reason I don't like Lacey Evans is because, I mean, you look at her and like she's 5'10", stud, gorgeous. She did an interview after she left wrestling. I never liked wrestling. I just did it because they came and picked me.
Oh no.
So that makes me mad, only because like she's taking, if you don't like it and you're taking the spot of someone who's like sleeping at a rest stop so they could be a pro wrestler, that makes me mad. But that doesn't negate her military service at all.
So she almost did the warrior route.
Kind of, yeah, because look at her. She's beautiful. She's jacked. She's tall. She was a good athlete, but she said she never cared. She was just in it for the money.
Warrior.
But she was apparently on the Marine MP SWAT team. Now, that sounds pretty intense. What do you need to be on a SWAT team in the Marines for? I know there's military police, but a SWAT team?
Yeah. So have you ever seen the movie SWAT?
Years ago, man.
Okay.
Years ago.
Multiply that by 10 for the Marine Corps SWAT team.
Okay.
You're talking elite.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite Army Ranger, paratrooper, Green Beret,
Mm-hmm.
but they're in their own classification because they're dealing with explosives and break-ins and breaches and all that. So it's a totally different thing.
Do they tell me if I'm saying something wrong here. I don't want to be disrespectful. Do they kind of get leased out to the local cops at times?
Not. No,
Or is it just military
the military.
function?
No, you're talking about like Black Rock and different. There's different.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask this, and I don't mean to be sexist. Don't get mad at me. What do you think Lacey Evans' role was in military SWAT? Not because I don't think she's an incredible athlete and she's a stud or whatever, but like I just can't see her picking up that 75-pound hammer and going through the door.
Well, she could have been a driver. She could have been. She could have been scout. She could have been
Sniper.
Sniper. She could have been. She's tiny, so she could have. They gotta wedge them in different places.
Yeah,
and there's different. Point. There's different roles for everybody.
That's a good point.
And if they can shoot, if they can handle a firearm, and they can communicate, they'll have a spot for them.
Makes total sense. Yeah. And she was definitely an incredible athlete.
And they have to be able to pass the physical qualifications and the mental qualifications, because that's the hardest part. A lot of people break mentally before they break physically.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Here's something I don't know. I'm going to save the most famous dude for last. But Kevin Nash was a special NATO police officer.
And that I did not know.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that until I saw your show prep.
I saw that. And I did research. There's pictures of him in the eggshell helmet and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, what?
Still ain't good.
So that would have been early 80s.
Early 80s.
So
it was right. It was before he played basketball.
Oh, wow.
So before he went to college to play ball, he did a year and a half as a NATO special MP. Do you know anything about NATO MP?
I don't. I would imagine that he had to qualify for that and probably apply, and it was probably a special assignment. I'm sure.
Not do leg day. That was the thing, Lamb, because like this is where I'm a piece of garbage human being. Because when I was in high school, they had a military recruiter show up on career day, and I thought it'd be cool to fly a Black Hawk helicopter. But he's like, "Oh, you're too tall for that. You can't do that." And then I just quit. I just quit. I didn't. I feel bad.
Those cabs are not. They're not big.
Right.
The cargo bay is big, but then the cab in the front.
If I remember right, it was like 5'9" was the cutoff, and then like 170 was the cutoff.
Oh man!
To be a Black Hawk helicopter, because you're right. It was like it's not like
it's like NASCAR
here, right? It's like I'm here and the co-pilot's behind me.
Yeah, and then you're whatever helmet space. I mean, you might be able to slip a piece of paper in there, and then that shield's coming down, and your rejection, and the two big harnesses are coming down, and that's it. You're not in there doing your hair, and you know what I mean.
So you had to shave it off in the first place.
Yeah, you got to shave your head before you get in it, because that's how tight the space is.
Yeah. So I was an idiot and a coward, but
they don't tell you that either. That's the recruiter's job to tell you, now, son, I have a job that'd be even better than that. And then he has to sell you on something better.
Yeah.
And then you don't even think about being a Black Hawk pilot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's how a good recruiter would be able to do that. But they're not. Most of them aren't good recruiters.
Just sign here. Right.
Yeah.
But the most famous guy, the most famous dude, and he's a killer, is Jesse the Body Ventura. Yeah. And he was part of a program called BUDS, which is basic underwater demolition, and eventually that evolved into Navy SEALs, or dovetailed into Navy SEALs. I guess in my research, I found there was like a difference between BUDS and Navy SEALs, even though he says he's a Navy SEAL. But he was a frogman with BUDS, and that BUDS program turned.
It's kind of merged. It probably just merged together, I would imagine.
Yeah. So basically, his job
probably absorbed it.
His job was to like blow up bridges, blow up dams, blow up and sink boats.
He
cut into stuff underwater.
He was an explosives expert. So their BUDS unit was probably still a thing. It was probably just called something different.
Wild.
That's why didn't that one that's why he had to get into wrestling, because he had a blood clot.
Yeah, I think he got a discharge because of what's it called? I should have done better research. When you're decompressed underwater. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, though? Like the water pressure like messes with your heart and your lungs. There's a name for it.
So he started to cave in.
Yeah,
the pressure.
Yeah, and that's why they discharged him.
Okay.
It was a medical discharge. It wasn't like a dishonorable discharge. And then he got into pro wrestling, and I think all those complications is why he moved into. He didn't wrestle very long, in the ring. Brilliant commentator, though.
Oh my God.
Right.
Gorilla Jesse.
Yeah.
And perfect wrestler for that era.
Yes.
If he had the look, and Billy Graham was kind of on his way out, so he could steal the Billy Graham look with the tie dye, but not a great wrestler, but a good showman. So I mean, which one's more important in that era?
Being a showman.
Yeah, being a
Oh,
showman,
no.
Yeah.
especially when you're a heel.
And, you know, of course, that led to his Hollywood opportunities. And he was great in Predator.
Oh yeah,
And he was great in The Running Man as the aerobics instructor. Fantastic. And then I don't know why he didn't just keep that ball rolling. Do you ever figure out why? Do you ever hear why
don't
they
know.
just stopped casting
He
him?
probably aged out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that was when they had the up and coming guys, the Jean-Claude Van Dammes,
That's true.
the Dolph Lundgrens,
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze,
You had like Stallone and Schwarzenegger that were like the institutions.
Tom Cruise was on the he
On the
told
come
the
up.
streets he was
Yeah.
back.
He was back up.
Yeah.
I love
You got a lot of those guys that were coming up right in there.
Right.
Like in the 90s.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis. And he had like, in the 90s too, he was about to make a video game that was like not WWF approved. And Vince McMahon, he wanted to be that pie. So that's why he left WWF,
Such
because
Old promoter.
And then the union thing
Yeah,
that got him heat, which I'm sorry, but we could have a whole show on that. That's
We should have.
I think it's a horrible idea.
To have a union.
Yes,
There shouldn't be a union necessarily. There should be some way to.
they just need to hire the people outright,
Right.
and that will solve everything.
Yes. This
That way they
whole.
don't loophole them on everything.
That's exactly what you're right about that, because that's the problem. Sometimes you're an employee, sometimes you're not an employee.
Right. Well, you're not an employee. I can tell you, you're not an employee when it's convenient for them.
Right.
They
That's
won't
what I mean.
screw you.
Yep.
wow.
You're exactly
Yeah.
right. So, I mean, who?
I go through it at my job.
So if you had to pick a roster, you had to make like a super team, and you a SWAT team people. Who from that list would you pick to be on your team?
SWAT people.
Special ops, like
Oh,
a
man.
GI Joe style special ops team. Because here's the other dude that was hard that I didn't put on the list. Classy Freddie Blassie.
He sure was.
In the Navy, that dude was tough
Man.
as nails. Tough as nails.
He sure was. I'm thinking about
Yeah, true story. And he fought in World War II, and then also Vern Gagne. Vern Gagne actually had to skip the Olympics to go fight in World War II. I mean, that was the beginning of his superstardom. Not to sound weird, but like that guy was like a J.C. Penney Arrow shirt model back in the day.
It was like
he had the looks.
It was Captain America.
Yeah.
When they're like parading him in front.
Yes.
That's what it reminds
That's what
me
Vern
of.
Gagne is. He has that great head of hair and
Yes.
the unit. He's got the square jaw. He looks like a movie star.
Right.
And he became a movie star because of, the bravado and everything. So, he's a legitimate Olympian. He's a legitimate Greco guy.
Yeah.
He's a legitimate soldier. He's a legitimate this and that. So it really kind of added to the mystique of Vern Gagne. But if I'm putting a G.I. Joe team together, I'm going to go easy on this one. I'm taking Jesse the Body Ventura because I have a feeling Jesse knows what it's like to kill a man.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, for sure. And blow stuff up. And
Yeah.
in the military, you need people that aren't afraid to blow stuff up.
What about killing people?
So for that, you would want to have a guy like a Montez Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Perry Saturn?
Yes.
That dude.
Cockeyed Perry Saturn. Where you tell Perry, here's a picture of the guy.
Right.
Go find him.
Almost like Hitman for
Yeah.
hire.
Yeah.
Well, when I read that story, I feel really bad for him. Do you remember when there was that brush fire?
Yeah.
And he ran into the brush fire without thinking.
Oh,
You don't remember that?
no.
So there was a giant brush fire, and there was, I guess, was it a little kid in the brush fire?
Yeah.
A huge brush fire. He runs right into the brush fire, grabs the kid, runs out, and he's got like second, third degree burns. And that's one of the reasons why he has that tattoo on his face,
Okay.
because he was burned on the side of the face so bad. He's got that tattoo to cover it up. Because I thought, man, why'd this dude get a tattoo on his face? And then they showed a picture of him, and I was like, okay, that's why. That's why he doesn't have any facial hair anymore either. is because that tattoo, like he can't grow a beard or any facial hair anymore because he was burned so bad. But he didn't think about it. He went in and saved that kid's life. We are thankful for their service, and it's pretty cool that the elite of the elite were able to go out there, serve our country, come back, and pretend to fight people. We're going to go pay some bills. We'll be right back.
I like how you said
Man,
that.
Ohio Lottery. We make Keno fun. Your way.
that's true.
Subject change. I'm Big Kev. He's back. Kimera. He is Sergeant Ledbetter. And we'll discuss about one of my favorite games growing up. You know, every birthday party we go to, always play this game. Musical chairs.
Musical chairs.
We are sponsored by musical chairs.
Did you ever get like hurt?
I
I've seen some musical chair
I've seen
injuries.
some bad
no.
stuff.
Knock on wood. I never got hurt on musical chairs.
Well, thank God. Maybe we should play that. Do you remember when Eugene did musical chairs for the #1
Oh,
contender for the heavyweight? Was it the heavyweight title or intercontinental?
I think it was the Intercontinental.
They had a match there that night. While we were at the break, our friend of the show, Angel French, said if Jesse Ventura would have ran for president of the United States as an independent, like he considered, I would have quit my job and joined his campaign trail.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah. Well, Jesse, Jesse, he'll say like a bunch of things that were like are genius, and then he'll say one thing that's like so out of
His
pocket.
conspiracy stuff is sometimes a little out there.
Right. Like, and whether it's
But
true,
he believes it.
yeah. You'd be like, oh, well, we should lower taxes for the middle class, and 9/11 was an inside job. Like, okay, Jesse, like,
Well,
The aliens started COVID.
right. The aliens started COVID, like, and it could be true, but
He believes it.
we need a little evidence for some of the stuff that's a little more far-fetched. All right. So, like, I think that it's super awesome that people go to war, join the military, serve us, serve their country. It's very interesting that a lot of people that went and served in the military, got out, started wrestling. A lot of them were very successful in the wrestling business. Now, this is where I want to talk a little bit about training with you, Sarge, at boot camp and training for wrestling, because I'd have people start wrestling training and from the military, and they were I don't know the difference, because some people would train for wrestling and they'd come from and be like, oh my God, just wrestling training is like 10 times harder than boot camp. And then other people would say that wrestling training was a breeze because they went through boot camp, and boot camp was
That's
by
what
comparison
I
was
would
easy.
say.
So you say wrestling training is easier based upon your boot camp experience. But first things first, I'll let you ask questions too. I'm sorry, Kev, I'm talking too much. What is it about boot camp and military that makes adapting to being a pro wrestler so why do those things tie together so well?
The biggest thing is discipline.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's mental discipline and
Mhm.
physical discipline. Understanding how to manage your body.
Yep.
Understand how to manage your time.
Mm-hmm.
Also being able to stay focused and time management.
Mm-hmm.
All things that have helped me. As far as teaching, just having an understanding of not everybody's the same.
Yep.
So, and we've talked about this off air. What am I working with?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of boot camp and drill instructors get themselves in trouble because they have their set way that they're trying to push at people.
Is that kind of like the Full Metal Jacket type thing? I know.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be cliche.
It's
but
a blanket
Yeah.
statement. Like, this is how we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to do that. And then that only goes so far. Once you get into once you deep dive into an individual, you want to harness their strengths. So a blanket approach isn't always going to work.
yeah.
It only takes you so far. Now, it will weed out some of the weak, and people don't like to hear that. They don't like
No,
they
that's
don't
fair.
like to hear that. But in the military, you're only as strong as your weakest person.
Yeah. And on the wrestling, your show is only as good as your worst match.
And there's a lot of direct correlation between the two. In training, do you remember any times where you just mentally, not physically, mentally said, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't handle this. Like early on.
So here was exactly the day that happened. So it was probably 3 or 4 months into it. And because this sounds like an excuse, but it's not. My arms are really long. If you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So when I was learning body slams, when I would post, they would be like, "You got to get on the hip, right? You got to get on the hip for the post." I would be posting right above someone's kneecap because my arm was so long. I would try to post
Yeah,
on
because
somebody's
it's
hip.
an awkward, I'm
Yep.
kind of showing it, but you got to almost stubby it up.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, wow.
And Les made me take probably 60 body slams that day. And D'Lo Brown actually, not to
Name drop Jones is in the house
name
here.
drop Jones right
Yeah,
here.
let's drop it right back over that way.
D'Lo Brown actually saved me and was like, that dude's turning white. Stop body slamming him. Because I'm an idiot. I have one superpower. I don't give up on anything. I kept getting body slammed, but he kept telling me I'm doing it wrong. But I couldn't. My arm was so long, I couldn't get on someone's hip. So so he just kept making me do it. And then at the end of that, I was like, man, if I have to go through another day like that,
Well, this goes back to what I'm saying. If you take a blanket approach to the whole class, and then
right,
obviously wasn't going to work for you,
mm-hmm.
not because you were not willing to do it, but physically you couldn't.
Yeah.
Think about a guy like an Elegante, or even a Kevin Nash.
Yep.
How did they do it?
Same way.
They had to just post the best they could, and it worked out okay for them.
They did all right.
So I mean, I don't know if that's a knock on Les for not being more patient, or if he was just frustrated because he didn't understand why you couldn't do it.
Everybody when I was training, like HWA, I'm never gonna knock it. I mean, I was the tallest dude there. Like everybody, like Matt Stryker, 5'8". Cody was a big dude.
Yeah,
he was
Cody's tall.
6'1", but he's not. I'm still 4 or 5 inches taller than Cody.
He's kind of lanky arm though.
Yeah, I don't know how if they made him do the same thing.
Maybe he just was right there where he could get it in there without.
Everybody I trained with was anywhere between like 5'6" and 5'9". Like I think about how good like Pepper Parks is.
Yeah,
Pepper never made it big because he's 5'10". It has nothing to do with him. He's incredible. He looks incredible. He's doing well in AEW as the Blade, but he's not. He should, in my opinion, he should be like
way up
there.
Right. So, with the type of training that you had to do, what type of mindset you had to go into before you started training? Like, how did you prepare to do like the training?
Well, a lot of times you didn't know what was getting thrown at you,
Okay,
and that was part of the training in itself. What can they throw at you curveball wise to where you have to be able to adjust on the fly? Will you fold, or will you take a breath, and will you? Not everybody is born to lead. The majority of the people in society in general need to be led by someone. If there was a room full of people, say 30 men, and there was a task, somebody walked in and just dropped a piece of paper on the table and said, "This is what needs to happen." There'll be some blah 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 blah. Someone eventually in that room has to coordinate and get everybody on the same page.
Right.
And it takes I'm not going to say that a better person. It just takes a different type of person to do that. The military teaches you to work together. It also teaches you to take instruction. It also teaches you to step up and lead others. You have to know when to flip that switch.
Right.
It could be us three, and we're bunkered down, and we got to figure out how we're going to get ourselves out of the you-know-what.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be a whole platoon of 30 people taking air fire, and now you're getting coordinates on your pickup plane that's supposedly coming, but it might have got shot down, and you don't know that, and the comm link goes out. Now what do you do?
Right.
Somebody's got to make a decision.
You got to improvise, and you got to lead.
And somebody's going to have to lead you and say, "We need to get you out of here."
What do you think? And we'll talk about this for the next 4 hours. But what do you think? What do you think is the biggest piece that's missing from the kids now that are trying to break in, or people now trying to break into wrestling that they could get from like a military perspective? The reps.
Reps is the biggest problem. Nobody gets enough reps.
Yeah, I think that's true too.
And they're on the show.
Yeah,
that's in the military. You get all the reps. They prepare you.
Mm-hmm.
You are over prepared.
Mm-hmm.
I was over prepared before I ever debuted to wrestle.
Yes,
I over prepared myself.
Mm-hmm.
I told Shark, I do not want to suck.
Yeah.
I said I don't want to be one of these people that go out there and I wrestle scared and I wrestle stupid because I'm underprepared.
Right. Stupid.
Yeah,
it's true though.
No,
do that.
Let me have enough where I can stand on my own. of course, yes, I'm still getting led and I'm still getting carried by other veterans, but I'm able to stand on my own. That's the problem with wrestling. People do not prepare themselves properly to be able to go perform a craft that is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. It is actually very, very hard. And it's like the example you told me the other day or last night. Someone asked you, hey, can you teach me wrestling psychology real quick?
No. Quick thing.
No, I can't, because it doesn't work that way.
Right.
It's like in the military. Hey, could you teach me how to break in and rescue a prisoner real quick? Because I got to do it real quick. It ain't like it's not like changing the car battery where you can get on YouTube and pull up the video and watch it, or unplugging a toilet.
Right.
These are a skill set that has to be pounded into you with reps.
Well, I mean, go ahead, Kev. I'm talking too much. Go ahead, bud.
What type of let's say like today it would be like calisthenic day.
Okay.
What type of calisthenics would y'all be doing?
Air Force boot camp probably was a little easier than what I would say from what I've heard. Marine Corps boot camp, they PT you a lot more.
Okay.
We ran 3.5 miles every other day, but we walked everywhere.
Yeah.
So we probably marched 30 miles a day.
Oh wow.
In boots. But in the Marines, they're going to throw a sack on you.
What's that called? Rucking?
Rucksack.
Yeah.
You're gonna probably double time.
Yeah.
In the rain, got to train.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't matter.
Plus you got all that stuff on too.
And you're in boots, and these boots are not comfortable. They're made in the prison.
Yeah.
So they're, they got, you wear the tread off the boots real quick, marching every day.
Feet hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not comparing the military to wrestling, but I went through at least 20 pairs of shooters in a year.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you wear them down to where the rubber's gone on the toes from shifting and sliding and
scooting across the
crawling,
mat and doing the 555 and then doing the 6, and 6.
You wear them out.
You run and you slide. But there's not that much to a shooter or a boxing shoe, but that's on purpose.
Right.
Because you got to be light on your feet and you got to move you move the ball of your foot. And, I know we're talking about this. It sounds weird, but like, if you're not light on your feet and your feet aren't flexible, like you're in big trouble with.
If you had any kind of limp or give in your step, I can tell you by your boots.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I could look at a guy's boot and see how the tread was worn, and I could say, "Hey, man, your right knee gives out every time you step because the tread would be wore out." You know what I mean? So this is where, but it's reps. Yeah, that's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
Everything in life, from your job to wrestling to the military, it's all reps. That's all it is. If you put the work in, you'll see it on the back end.
I think you're right about that, and I think that's the biggest disconnect is the reps. Like they're just not getting them. We could talk about attitude until we're blue in the face, but like with the reps, it's like I was at practice 4 days a week. I had a show 4 days a week.
You wrestled probably 300 matches a year.
Yeah. No, easily.
Yeah.
Four a week for 52
and then
weeks.
Slowly, I bet you, as it went on, it was harder to hit that number. Then it was 250, and then it'd get to 200, and then it would get to 150.
Yep.
And now
it's like 20.
Now
a year.
Yeah.
Probably. But that's all I can really do.
But even if you could do more, it would be harder for you because you'd have to go out and seek more work.
Yeah.
And you don't want to work for somewhere just to say you wrestled that week.
Yes. Correct.
You'd rather go get in the ring and roll around with a group of trainees. You probably get more out of it.
Are you trying to say I should go back into training?
I would say that the reason I brought you into Battle on the Border is because I knew without even knowing, I knew what you would bring to the table as a trainer.
Like quitting?
No.
I'm quitting.
All right.
Yeah. He said,
when I wrap that first trash can lid around your head Saturday,
we'll find out.
You think about if you're going to quit or
you
not.
know what? That makes me want to quit even more.
See, now I'm getting his blood flowing.
Oh,
yeah. Could you imagine retired from wrestling?
No.
He'd be more grumpy.
Could you?
Uh,
I'm not even that grumpy.
I
want to
know.
give a chair.
You'd be more though.
More grumpy. People have this perception of me, like I don't know.
said the Detroit Grumpy.
That's true. Detroit grumpy, right?
He does.
We got to go pay some bills, Kev.
Yep, got to be some bills.
All right, we got to go pay some bills. We come back though. We will be back. We'll be talking about one of my favorite things in all of wrestling, the Tribute to the Troop Show.
Yes.
Love it. We'll see you in a little bit.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you can
Guess
put
you
that
have
money
bills
towards
now.
some.
Kev, right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
We are already in the second half of card. Subject to change.
Wow.
Sometimes we having fun, man. Crazy.
It does. It does.
It's all the way live up in here. Card subject to change. And we are sponsored by Bop It. Y'all remember?
I remember.
What was the one where you put it around your ankle and you skip? Was it Skip It?
Skip It. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Skip It and Bop It. The same company that made them,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. It was a good workout. That Skip It was a good
God,
workout.
Skip It, man. That'll have you going through some things. You tripped.
You that, and you had to switch legs because one leg would just be sore, you know, because you're skipping with one.
Pop it would be a workout for us now because every
Yeah.
time we dropped it, we'd have to bend down and pick it
That's
up.
true.
Yeah.
That would suck.
My knees are shot, so
that
yeah,
would suck.
be
We'd have to have
awful.
somebody like that'd be a good job for my son. He could stand there. And
There
pick
it
up
is.
for me.
Pick it up for me.
Yeah.
When I'm obviously done wrestling, but when you're in your 60s
and I'm still
you're
pushing-
still
trying to
putting
put guys
yeah,
over.
you're still putting guys over. You know,
All you hear, we try to pick some of them.
So speaking of old age, can I
Yes.
tell this story real quick?
Tell
before
a
you go
story,
into
yeah.
tribute to the troops?
Yep.
So last night at practice,
oh god,
you'll love this.
here we go.
I'm talking about middle rope springboards.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So
Advanced.
no one else could do one except Angela was able to learn it eventually, but I had to demonstrate how to do it because they called me out.
Oh no!
They called me out.
And you did it.
Oh yeah, 3 in a row, perfect. No ropes, just no hands. I mean, 2 feet straight around, feet to my right, land in the middle. Like
There
a
it is.
luchador, baby.
There it is.
Yep, I still got it, Kev.
World's biggest luchador over
Right.
here.
Lucha Ledbetter.
I'm glad you were able to show. I never had it.
Ben
You
would have
still
needed
got
a
it.
ladder to get up on that
That's
second
true.
rope.
That's true.
So you gotta put a mask.
One of the benefits of being tall is you don't have to jump. I just could step up on the second
Right.
rope.
Yeah, there you go.
Just stand on it.
Right.
I used to do a thing where it was an elbow drop, and Les made me stop doing it, but I kind of liked it. You had the WCW ring, like the ropes are kind of tight. I would just climb the ropes like a ladder and just kind of like step off the top of the rope with an elbow drop. And he's like, "Don't do it."
Remember
But it
Dan
was
Spivey
perfect.
used to do that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. do
He was
that.
in a reverse jumping elbow drop.
Yeah, I would just walk up and then just step off the top rope and do an elbow drop. No, wasn't allowed to do it
Why
anymore.
not?
Les, we could do a whole show
He
about
probably
Les.
he probably had some of the little guys complain.
Right.
Oh, that's for sure. Because I really wanted to do a senton bomb, a swanton, and I could do it, and they made me stop doing it.
Dude,
Cool
a
job,
jumping back senton would
I
be
did
the
one.
best for you.
I did. I used to do one.
Husky Harris is moving.
Yeah.
Yep, I used to do
on
one.
top.
Maybe I'll
Oh,
top.
That's a finish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
finish me.
Yeah.
This is why I quit, because I don't want to do things like that anymore.
Well, you are contractually
I
obligated.
just want to sit at home and
You
drink.
heard Dixie. He
I
said
heard
you were
Dixie.
going to be contractually
Yeah.
obligated to be
There.
there
And
on
I'm
Saturday.
actually obligated to be intoxicated in the back.
ooh,
So let's talk about tribute to the troops. I don't care if this bleeds over into multiple segments. Like, it was so, like, we're all kids of 9/11, all three of us.
Yeah.
And by kids of 9/11, I mean, we all watched that live on TV as it happened. We saw the planes hit the building. We saw people on fire jump out of a building, fall out of a building. We saw all, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or dramatic, but the stuff that we saw live on TV was some of the most horrible things that you would ever see. And I saw a lot of bad things in Haiti. What I saw at 9/11 on television live was, horrific.
Yeah.
So all of us, that was the impetus, for Sarge to, be deployed. He was in the military at that point, right?
Yeah, so I had a broken ankle. I've told this story 1 year
Yeah,
ago
you
when
did.
I made my debut
Yeah, when you
on
made your-
Busted. Not
Yeah,
Busted.
busted open. Okay,
Well,
go put over someone else's podcast.
Man, you know what I would love if
What?
we could do like a collab with them.
Yeah, tackle crossover, collaborate. Let's do it.
That would be amazing. But anyway, so I saw people deploy within an hour that day,
Yeah,
and I never saw these people again.
yeah.
I mean, that's how real it was.
It was
I'm not saying they died, but
no, they were gone.
they were gone.
It was
Yeah,
go
they were
time.
gone.
It was go time like that. And the tribute to the troops was about a year after, started the year Christmas after 9/11, so 2002. And it was a show where WWE would pack up, what was it called, the AWAC? Or is that what's the big plane? Air Force guy.
Man, I'm not sure what they even call. I forget what they even call the big boy.
Gigantic plane.
It's a big freighter. That's what we just call
Yeah.
them, big freighters. But
So this thing, they'd pack up the ring and the sound equipment, and they would sit in this plane, and it's a 22-hour flight from Connecticut all the way over to Crete, Iraq. They would go to Forward Operating Base, or FOB, and they'd set up the ring, and this is around Christmas time, and these guys in WWE, it was incredible to watch. It's on Peacock, and I would recommend going to see that. And what's wrong? Unmute the mic. Okay. So they go set up the wrestling ring and they would perform for the troops. And I love these shows. Not that I've been on to Creed Iraq, but anytime we do a show for the military or for people who are for kids or developmentally disabled or whatever, it's a super babyface show. So what does that mean? That means I go out there and I'm not typically Benjamin Chimera. I'm like a dastardly, wily coyote type heel. You know what I mean? And the baby faces are super good guys. And the matches are real simple, real easy. They're fundamentally sound, but obviously the baby faces win clean after some fun. But watching that WWE, the production team, incredible.
Oh, I love it.
We all talked about how emotional we get. We watch it because we watch these young men, you know, that are over there sleeping in the desert, not eating, and then bam, Rey Mysterio's like at your mess table, or you know, right, or Chris Jericho's like in your Hummer, like with the helmet on, talking to you, telling you. What got me in the feels researching this was Chris Jericho, super mega heel at the time, with the Save Us Y2J heel.
Yeah.
He's like hugging this guy and telling him what a hero he is, and the guy's like, it gets you, man, because Vince McMahon, all his flaws, this was like to me the most special thing that he did. Kev, what did you think about Tribute to the Troops?
I love Tribute to the Troops. I always made it to the TV every time Tribute to the Troops came on, because that was one of those things where it gets you in the feels, and just to see those smiles on these faces,
Yeah.
Like that gave me a little something to think about, because there they are putting their lives on the line for us, us back at home, and what better way for the WWE to kind of boost up their morale.
Yeah.
That's what they needed right there, was a morale boost, because they haven't seen their families in I don't know how long.
Some of them were there for, they said 18 months.
Yeah.
They hadn't even
about
been home.
18 months. And just to see them, and everybody's a fan. Everybody's a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
And they go back to being 5 years old when their dad took them to the ring for the first time to see wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe that I get every time I watch Tribute to the Troops, because everybody's 5 years old and watching Rey Mysterio, like I said, Johnson coming out and giving the best speech to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's going back to the kid spot.
Yep. You're exactly right. What are your thoughts, Sarge?
The morale thing is the biggest.
Yeah.
You got me. Do I sound good, Kev?
Yeah.
Thank you. So the morale thing, you can't put a price tag on that, because you're somewhere you don't want to be.
Yep.
Doing something you do not want to do, making no money.
Yep.
And you can't even at least hang out with your friend. I mean, you're with your new friends.
Yeah.
But you're not around your old friends and your family.
And that's and let me ask you this to expand on that, because like, yeah, you're an American citizen. Yeah, you're in the Army, but I don't know this dude, and now I've got to trust this dude with my life.
Man, well, it's like, imagine this is tied into wrestling. Go to a show. Hey, you're working with, Powerbomb Jones tonight.
Never met him.
And his finish is the powerbomb.
Yep.
And you know that you could potentially have your neck broken by this guy, but you have to put your life in his hands that night.
Powerbomb
Jones.
There it is. But it was so cool, like seeing the divas. I know I didn't mention it multiple times, but I thought it was so cool. Kelly, and if you don't know who that is, Barbie Blank. She's like a perfect hand. Like imagine like a Barbie doll, like blonde hair, perfect teeth, blue. And here's these redneck dudes. I'm not trying to diss them. Like she's hugging them and kissing them on the lips. Like these dudes. I mean, they look like Barney Fife.
You're a good player.
Yeah. But here's the thing. She's hugging them and kissing them on the lips, and they're just like, you could just see them turn into butter right there, because they've never even talked to a girl that ever looked like that before, let alone have a super famous one come up and hug you and kiss you on the lips, and they're just like Pepe Le Pew, you know what I mean?
I did meet Kelly one time.
Yeah,
I damn near melted in the butter.
Did you?
Damn near. I'm like, oh.
Does she smell good? I imagine. What does she smell like?
Oh,
I imagine she smells like bubble gum or something like
cotton
that.
candy.
Cotton candy. All right, I believe it.
Cotton candy.
But it was such a big deal because like Layla's out there dancing with them, and Mickey James is out there scooting with them, and JBL. So he had the flak jacket on.
He sure
Then
did.
he had the helmet on and put the cowboy hat on top of the helmet. And he's like acting all scared, and the crowd's just giving him the business, man.
Right.
But it sounds dumb, but it's so fun because they look, not only are they into the show, they look so grateful.
Yeah, they
It's
did.
a bonding thing too.
So expand on
So
that.
say me and you are wrestling fans, but we don't know each other.
Okay.
Okay. Wrestling will bond people together.
Yes.
Easy.
So
There's an entire convention, I think, about that.
yeah, me and you could be sitting there
Yeah.
watching this Tribute to the Troop show. We just met. But I know you like wrestling and I like wrestling. This is my favorite buddy to hang out with there for the next 3 hours is
Yeah.
you,
Right.
because we have something in common and now we're excited to see wrestling.
Right. It doesn't matter what our background is or where we're from or whatever. We have a common denominator, right? Kev, do you have a favorite Tribute to the Troops moment or no?
Let me
I'm
see.
gonna get. I know what I might think it is if you remember it.
Let me see. This is when Stone Cold came out. and he
Okay,
said-
wasn't the one I thought it would be, but go ahead.
What you thought of
I thought it was going to be when Crime Time came out with the Divas and gave everybody presents.
That's another one of my favorites right there.
That was pretty good.
They gave all the troops a bunch of presents. That, of course, it's WWE merch, but still,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
I like the Stone Cold one.
Yes,
That's just so good.
the Stone Cold and Vince McMahon thing.
Yeah.
That was great.
His little Suzuki came out one time and he got his butt beat too.
Yeah. Well, it's a super baby show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
The one that I watched earlier, it was 2 6-man tags, and that was the whole show. It was R-Truth, CM Punk, and Jeff Hardy when he was champion. And they wrestled Morrison and Miz and who was the other guy? I'm
Was it
blanking.
Cody?
No, it was
McIntyre?
it was JBL.
Okay.
And then the main event was Mysterio, Batista, and Cena versus Jericho, Orton, and Big Show.
Wow.
And Big Show turned on Orton
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Jericho because Jericho kept pie facing him.
Yeah.
And then they just did they went right to the finish and did like a finisher gauntlet.
Right.
It was like 619 to West Coast Pop to
Yeah.
add adjustment to Batista bomb. But and you would look at that as a wrestling fan and be like, man, this match kind of sucks. But for what it was
Yeah,
supposed
That's
to
what I'm
do,
saying.
I mean, it's basement Mark wouldn't like it. but-
listen, the work rate was unacceptable.
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein should have won. Okay, Saddam should have won.
Would Will Ospreay do something like that?
What, tribute to the troops? Oh, he's British.
No, I'm
But,
talking about,
oh, with the basement mark.
yeah.
Although the real Ospreay was in this match.
Yeah.
He was like 3 years old at
Him
the
and
time.
Takeshita.
Right. Yep. Takeshita and Ospreay. They needed 45 minutes of 5-star match.
Terrible. Over them in
The troops would have really appreciated that.
I'm sure they will. But just breaking wrestling down into its simplest form is it's such a joy as for us as performers to go out there and do, and not because we're lazy, but because the energy is so good in the building. I mean, what's your favorite charity show that you've ever done, Sarge?
I've done quite a few church shows, fundraiser shows.
Yeah.
Most recent, we did a special needs fundraiser
Yeah.
with Spot Monkey.
Yeah.
Private show, not open to the public,
Mm-hmm.
and they just bust them in. I mean, from all
Yeah.
over, bust them in, all special needs kids.
Yep.
And adults.
Yeah.
Mostly adults. And they were live the whole time.
Yeah.
And they popped for everything for
Yep.
their wrestler's dream.
That's what's up.
Everything could be basic psychology.
Yep.
Headlock, grab hair. You know what I mean? Like stuff that nowadays guys can't even do because they're too
Right.
busy about getting to the spot, brother.
Yep.
Gotta get to the spot.
Gotta get to the spot, brother.
Dude, they were so loud
Yeah.
and we had so much fun, and all they want to do is meet us and hug us and
Yeah.
take pictures and shake our hands, and it's just like,
What kind of blessing is that in your life?
oh,
Let's just talk about it.
dude, I would work those shows for free all day,
All day.
all day, every day.
Agreed. Gas money, if anything.
Because if I really wanted to, I could have. There has been shows where I've set my shirts out
Yeah.
and I'll do them at like a special rate where I really don't make anything off of them. I don't
Cost.
lose, but I'll just
Yeah.
sell them at my cost, and I'll sell $200 or $300 worth of shirts.
Mm-hmm.
they would have bought them if I was charging 20.
Right. But why? Why would do that? Right.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. They'll buy a shirt and they'll remember me, and then they'll come and they'll
You're a guy fan.
they'll follow me around. And I have fans that do. They'll follow me around to shows because they met me at one of those type of shows.
It's such a blessing. Kev, you've been to some of those charity shows.
Yes.
What's the vibe like as from a fan? Like, what's the vibe like in the audience?
Everybody just loves everything that you do.
Yeah.
It's like how you said, Levin. It's just like everybody. You can put on a simple match, and everybody will just eat it up
Because they know what it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And my thing is, you can do like all the moonsaults and all the stuff like that, but you just keep it basic and keep it for the fan. That's love,
Mm-hmm.
And the fans watch those type of shows. They know what they're watching. They know it's not like a storyline driven show, right?
Exactly.
They're not waiting for the turn or the angle or the promo. They just want to have fun and watch wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that's really what it boils down to.
I agree with you 100%. All right. We're going to go pay some bills. We love tribute to the troops. We come back. We're going to talk about military-based supervillains. We'll see you in a little bit.
You're listening to Leaf Filter
You
Radio
want to
and the
take some
guru
time
of
to
and Big Kev right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
It just all of a sudden changed.
We are cards subject to change. I'm Big Kev. He's been Kimera. And he is Sergeant Ledbetter. And I got to tell you, this sponsor hits directly in the fields.
in the fields.
In
Okay.
the field a little bit. We're sponsored by Hair Arena.
Oh,
Oh, I
Sponsored by
wish.
Air Arena, man.
Man.
That arena had a lot of memories.
It is crazy how Southern Ohio is literally like the mecca of pro wrestling.
It is.
It's never had a WrestleMania, but think of all the matches and everything that's happened in like Cincinnati and Dayton.
Yes.
There's like so much. Like Bret Hart's return to WWF was in Dayton, Ohio.
I was there.
I was
the
there too.
The first Hogan Flair.
Hogan Flair sold out the first NWO pay-per-view.
Yep.
Like there's just so much history in Cincinnati, and as far as wrestling goes, there's not that many famous wrestlers from Cincinnati, but it's all Moxley and Pillman, I think, are the two that are like would be associated with this place. But like so many great, so many great events.
Angelo Dawkins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
About him. He's from Fairfield.
Yeah. I keep forgetting about him.
Yeah.
All right. So there's with wrestling, like it's we talk about cheap heat, but military gimmicks always get some sort of reaction. If you strap somebody into being a villain associated with the military, everybody's mind immediately goes to something authoritarian or fascist or communist, whatever you want to call it. And we talked about it in the first segment. Man, Fritz von Erich, when he came, like he was in the military, and then he comes back and he becomes a Nazi. And for people out there that don't, that word is so dumb now. Anybody like myself with a family that actually was affected by that, it makes me nuts that everybody just, oh no, you're a Nazi. But this guy, but at the time when he started to do this, when he started to become this character in the early 1960s, we're only 12 years past World War II at this point in the early 1960s. We're not far off. And, well, maybe 15. And when he comes to the ring, you got to understand, there's a lot of people died in World War II.
Right.
15% of the world's population died in World War II.
Mm.
Everybody in that audience probably either has a family member, a direct family member, an associated family member, or a friend that died in the European theater. There's a lot of people that died in the Asian Pacific theater, but in the European theater, that was the one. It was basically like putting the ultimate evil in the ring. What do you guys think that would be like now? Not even directly making him like a Nazi, but like, what do you think it would be like when, like, think about who could you even make it like?
It's like Gunther.
Yeah.
So
very
Gunther's it's never been said he's part of the military. It's never been said he was an actual veteran of the Austrian military. He presents himself like he is. He stands at parade rest. He has guys, well, at the time he had two guys behind him, and they would do the hand thing. Very, very military.
Yes. And the long coat.
And that's a throwback to that era that you're talking about, the 40s and 50s.
And not just that, but like his color scheme is red, white, and black.
Yes.
The font that they use for his name and imagery that they use on the screen is a direct callback. It's not exactly like it, but it's alike enough.
Yeah, that's proof right there how visual of a business pro wrestling is. If they presented him with just regular graphics, regular new style raincoat, flashy gear, you wouldn't even think twice of it.
Right.
He would be Gunther, and he's foreign.
You're exactly right.
That's it.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Very Soviet-esque.
Yes, and it was very rocky.
Yes.
Yeah. Even came out in the tank one.
Yep.
It was very rocky. Rusev smash.
Yep. And he had the blonde handler and the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
The whole 9 yards. But that Fritz actually, going out there with the Iron Cross, goose stepping in the ring, That pushed a lot of buttons for a lot of people, and people say, "Oh, that's cheap heat." Do you think doing stuff like that is too far? Do you think we're past that now? Do you think it's like people are too sensitive to it, or do you think there's a place for a villain like that?
You can do stuff like that, I think, but somebody's going to blur that line between what's real and what's imaginary.
Yeah,
Like, so yeah, somebody's going to take it back to where managed you just get stabbed. Like Classic Pretty Glass a long time ago, he said he got stabbed because of like what he was doing.
yeah.
Right.
Somebody's going to come back and do something like that. Somebody's going to pull a gun at a wrestling show.
What was that developmentally disabled kid recently? Did he go after Rollins? He jumped the rail and went after Rollins? Yeah. But you're right, though. I mean, stuff like that's too intense. Like, I don't know. Because I'm a big believer in, like, hey, you should make people mad at the heels, and they should genuinely want the heels to lose.
Mhm.
But that line between going too far and hating this guy is so thin now that, like, you're going to cross it at some point.
With a publicly traded company,
Yeah.
it's impossible.
I think, they do a good job of walking Gunther up that line. Because I was thinking about, like, with Fritz, like the Iron Claw.
Right.
You intentionally give this guy a finisher that's like a torture move. And they do it with Gunther, too.
Yeah.
His finisher is choking someone out.
Right.
Like the imagery, the subconscious, the subliminal, the way that he has his matches is something that's very intense and makes you hate his guts. But could you do something like the Iron Claw or something like that now, or do you think that's too far fetched?
No, not in WWE. Here's why: the internet ruins everything. So let's say you're on TV and they present you as this heel villain, like like Ludwig Borga, something
Actual Nazi.
Mhm.
something like that. So now here's what's going to happen. Week 1, you come out and you choke someone out.
Yep.
By 10:02, Twitter's blowing up with, well, that guy's from Detroit, Michigan. He's not even he's American, and blah, blah, blah. And it's all stooged off.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So no one even cares.
Yep. Nope, you're right.
Whereas if it's the indies, you can get away with a little bit more, but you're just spinning your wheels.
you can't,
in my opinion,
you can't be an authentic villain.
because everything gets stooged off.
Right.
If somebody was to walk past your TV and seeing an image like that, and they're not an actual fan, they will go crazy. Like prime example, Kurt Angle.
Yep.
When he did that promo with Armageddon, he's not even a Nazi, nothing like that.
Right.
You remember that promo?
Yeah.
He said like he's not a big fan of black people. You want to put Jesus in the headlock or something like that.
Yeah, it was a weird promo, but it got a ton of heat.
Yeah. So you do heat like that, but if you were to get somebody to walk past the TV and somebody's not in the know of what wrestling is, somebody's going to take that and go to Twitter and be like, "Oh man, cancel." We're the cancel culture now.
We got to cancel WWE because they have a real
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah.
They don't even know what's going on.
But here's what gets my blood pressure up through the roof. 90% of the time to the public, you know what someone said to me about pro wrestling the other day? It's redneck drag.
Come on now.
It's redneck. It's drag queens for rednecks. It's a joke. It's fake. It's phony. It's stupid. Until they do something that's edgy to get heat, then all of a sudden it's like a national morality crisis.
You should have invited him to wrestling training.
Yeah. But like, with the Muhammad Hassan thing, like I remember, obviously it's a different time. It was post 9/11. Before he would get people in the camel clutch, he would do the throat slit thing on them. I remember that he had to stop doing that because it was too much for people.
Mhm.
I don't get it though, because I'm not writing Disney and being mad about Darth Vader
At all.
I'm not mad about watching Thanos or Doctor Doom or any of those people. I let myself submit to the story and be emotionally involved in it, but I don't think it's real. So why do you think that that psychology with wrestling is like that.
Most of the people don't like to be immersed in like what's real and what's.
Nowadays, everybody has to see a line of what's real and what's not real.
Yeah,
I guess
They have to see it. If they watch a movie, they want to break everything down.
Mhm.
They can't just say, "Oh, that's Dr. Doom,
Yep.
Victor Von Doom."
Yep.
No, it's an actor playing Victor Von Doom.
Right.
They can't just say like, "This man is this."
It's wild. Now we were
going.
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No,
Like
go.
this is how you going. Like something like wrestling and movies and TV. This will have you escape reality a little bit.
Yes.
My thing is, you watching wrestling and you had a bad day. Let that bad day be gone and watch a little bit of wrestling.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
That's all it is for.
Why do
That's
people
what
go to the
wrestling is.
movies?
Yeah,
Why do you go to the
exactly.
movies on
Right.
Friday night?
Escape.
You don't go
Watch
because
the
you think
story.
it's real.
Yeah. But that's what it
And
is.
wrestling is more real than a movie.
Exactly. It's in front of you and it's
It's
presented
alive,
and looks
pal.
as real. Pronouns now. So we're supposed to talk. We can talk about Colonel De Beers and we can talk about the
Ooh, I
Truth
love
Commission.
Colonel De Beers.
Truth Commission. You big.
Colonel De Beers. I'm a big Colonel De Beers.
Why are you a big Colonel De Beers fan?
Because he was so real to me
Yeah.
as a kid.
What was
I would
made him
watch
real?
the AWAs on the mothership on ESPN, live from the Showboat Casino in Vegas. He was such man. He just was a heel. You know what I mean? He stood there. He down on people. He talked down. He had the Colonel Mustard mustache going and the hat. And I didn't fully, as a kid, understand the whole South African thing. I didn't understand that. I thought he owned Africa.
He did present that way.
Yes, I thought he was like
He
the
did
owner
present that
of
way.
the whole continent. I didn't know what was going on.
You know he was Polish, right?
Yes, I found that out later from Minnesota, but I didn't know any of that at the time.
Yep.
I just thought this man is evil.
He was able to tap into something evil because he was from Poland. Because he was, and I'm not saying this just because I'm 100% Polish, but like we grew up, Polish people grew up knowing, like I didn't grow up being oppressed, but I listened to my grandparents talk about having to deal with the Nazis, having to deal with the communists, and all the torture and all the horrible things that happened. The last person in my family that was murdered was in 1989. I knew about it, but like, Polish people are able to portray those characters like really well. And I wanted to get into this too before we go to break, because to your point, like that's what it is. But I think it's worth having a conversation right now about. If it bleeds to the next segment, we can. The Gulf War and the controversy around that at the time, because we were all kids, and when the Gulf War started to kind of bubble up with Saddam and the invading Kuwait and all that, we didn't know what was going to happen. They just kind of declared war overnight. But in wrestling, we try to reflect life. So we had a character in General Adnan who did not like Saddam Hussein, but grew up, legitimately was a boyhood friend of Saddam Hussein. And he was a good dude and a proud American. And you had a rebrand of the Iron Sheik as Colonel Mustafa. And then you took Sergeant Slaughter, one of the all-American baby faces of all time, and made him, what did they call him, Kev? An Iraqi sympathizer. He thought Saddam was in the right, and they wore traditional Iraqi dress, but then they got that angle going. They defeated the warrior, took the belt off of him, but then war was declared, and then all of a sudden the storyline went from, oh, this is just a story, to they're being disrespectful because now it's a real war, even though that war lasted 11 days. It was big, and it wasn't. I don't mean, it sounds so disrespectful. I'm sorry. Does that even quantify as a war, in your opinion, as a military guy?
The 11 days,
military action.
The 11 days was only on paper.
Right.
There was a lot more going on before and after.
Yeah.
And that war bled over into what we later got with 9/11.
Yes.
Now I understand it was different people, but it was the same region and it was the same heat. the heat
Yeah.
carried over.
Yeah.
It just shifted to a different group of people.
Yeah. There's a movie from the late 90s that I thought was a really good insight into this, even though it was like a heist movie. It's called Three Kings
I've seen
Yeah.
that.
with Clooney and Wahlberg.
Good movie. Yeah.
It's a really good movie, but a lot of that was we're over here to take these guys out, but they hate us from the Gulf War.
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk more about this. We got to go pay some bills. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this storyline and why it was so controversial. We'll see you in a little bit.
$5,000
Yeah, I think
sign
they
on
bailed
bonus.
on
That's
it.
right. My friends at Fordell Transportation are now hiring.
Mileage out of it.
And Big Kev right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Correct. We are part of subject change. And you know it's dinner time. You know everybody's going to eat on right now. So we are sponsored by Pizza Day at school.
That square pizza.
Friday.
Square pizza.
Was it usually Fridays?
It was, let's see, at my school was Thursday, and then we
Never
switched up to
remembers.
Friday.
Can't remember the pizza day, man.
Yeah, man. Because I was always one of the cats that would always like to bring my lunch from home. But when Thursday and Friday came around, always had to have that pizza.
Pizza day.
Always.
What was it? $2? You got a piece of pizza and a side and a drink.
Yep.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty
It
good
was like
deal.
it was pizza, some canned peaches,
Yeah.
Canned
Or
peaches.
applesauce.
applesauce,
Yeah.
and,
Mixed fruit.
Yep.
Life used to be so good.
It used to be so simple.
Oh my
It
god.
was good.
They ruined it with everything like the internet and flying
Social
cars and everything else. It's all screwed up now.
It's the worst.
Where would we be without social media and the internet?
Back
We'd
in
be
the
fine.
90s.
Yeah.
We'd be in a better time.
Oh my god.
Better yet, just cap social media at MySpace.
Oh, I love
It's
it.
fine.
Like,
I take it.
like if it was just on a computer and we didn't have smartphones,
Did we get Napster though?
you could use MySpace to promote shows,
Right.
like wrestling shows, and then just go back to how it was in the 90s where we were just like hanging out in the basement.
Yeah.
You know,
Talking to real people.
right? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
We should be sponsored by talking to real people.
We should be sponsored by interpersonal relationships.
That's next week's sponsor.
Exactly. Where we used to just hang out and be friends.
I read a stat the other day that 60% of now this is age 20 and under have never asked a female out on a date
I saw
in
that.
person.
I saw that.
Wow.
Can you
saw
believe that?
Oh,
No,
I feel
because
bad for the dudes. I feel bad for the women.
Yeah.
like
It's terrible.
I remember just going to Lakeside Mall, man.
Yeah.
Go to Lakeside Mall. There were girls from all different high schools.
Yeah.
Because we didn't all we all lived close to each other.
Mhm.
And Lakeside Mall was this huge, you remember, huge mall.
Oh my god.
And 2 stories, there were 8 different octagons that all came together in the middle. And you just see a girl you like. And you say, oh, okay, let's go get a hot dog on a stick or whatever.
Right,
you know,
right.
and you sit down and you talk and you eat something. And oh, you want to hang out this weekend? Well, or you know,
I don't know. Home Alone 2's
yeah,
playing.
that's true.
You already know.
At the mall. At the mall. So you said to go back to the mall.
Meet me in the
But
mall.
It was that easy. That easy. Not easy, but like that.
That's simple.
Yeah.
It was simple.
Yeah.
Now it's hard. It's like you gotta
Swipe. You got to hope the person is telling
they
you the
walk
truth.
into a girl
Yeah,
and they give them their phone. Can you put your number in here for me?
Yeah.
Because I'm too handicapped to be able to do it myself.
That's
Do
ridiculous.
people still write notes?
I hope so.
I'm talking
Because
about
I like
all
that.
day
Yeah.
notes.
I like
I used to love getting a note from a girl.
Oh, me too.
You know, it was great. I know it sounds Napoleonic War, but like when they spray it with like the body spray.
Oh,
Yeah, I see that too.
I
Oh,
love
yeah,
it.
I love
Man.
it.
Ben got them special notes.
I did. It was Japanese. It was Japanese cherry blossom from Bath and Body Works. 'Cause
Yeah.
Every girl wore Japanese
Everybody.
cherry blossom, and I mean, now you're taking me back.
He's better than ever.
You're taking me back.
I'll tell you what, though, it was this type of fragrance a long time ago. I think it was, I want to say about high school. Everybody had this fragrance. Every girl, it seemed like that I was interested in, always had this little.
Which one?
It smelled like fruit punch. Every
It
time.
had to be a Bath and Body Works
It had to be
because Bath and Body Works was like good, but it was also cheap.
Yeah.
good and cheap, and that's what
It was like buy one, they do like
Yeah.
buy one, get 3 free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was everything. It was like the lotion, the shampoo, like everything you would use in one smell.
Yep. To Kevin from such and such for
Yep.
4 hours only.
Yep.
All year.
And then spray. Yep.
Sniff, sniff.
Yeah. Oh man. God, I hate
How do
that.
you give a
Now
smell?
you
in
get catfished
through
by
a-
some bulldog.
Yeah, yeah.
You two are married. I'm still dealing with it, you know. Like and it's worse now with the AI pictures.
Oh,
Bro, they get all
Fish
they
hooks.
get all brushed up.
Yep. Yeah, fish hook, bro. Bro.
See, you don't have to worry about that when you meet them in person.
What's that?
When you meet them in person, you ain't got to worry about
Right,
that.
but here's their psychology. If you meet them in person after they send you the catfish picture, I didn't know you were so
Well,
shallow.
I'm talking about back in the day.
Back
Oh,
in the day,
yeah.
There was no airbrush.
oh, you
whatever.
just met 'em.
Yeah,
Took it out of here.
But then-
yeah.
Girls used to also like take care of themselves back in the day too. Like I used to get so mad at my friend Laura, and we're best friends. We weren't like dating or anything, but we'd be like go to the movies. We'd have a date to go to the movies, and she was like very how am I gonna say it? She's not a tomboy, kind of soft butch, you know what I mean? She like wore a turtleneck, she wear a ton of makeup, but she would still take like an hour to get ready for the movies. And she'd roll up, she'd smell good, and her hair was done and all that stuff. Be like, what are you doing for an hour? I would kill for that now.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? You're married. You don't know. You're married too.
Yeah.
But every time I see your guys' wives,
Yeah, my wife said she makes sure she
Like,
she looks
even at a wrestling show,
it doesn't
like,
matter. She looks
presentable.
God,
Right.
yeah.
She looks
she
cute.
doesn't want to
Your wife always looks cute.
Appreciate it.
Every time I
Yeah.
interact with them, they always look good.
she's not trying to dress up to get picked up,
right,
but she
looks
also
good
has respect to
for
look,
right,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
Yeah.
all it is to it. My wife's just the same thing. She dressed to impress.
Yeah,
She's gonna impress me.
impress you. So, but like, it's that, like you said, it's like the borderline thing. It's like I want to look good, so my husband is proud to be seen with me, not so they can attract other dudes, but just be put together. I'm with you. Let's talk about wrestling, I guess.
They all smell
Before I have a
like
blood pressure.
great.
Angel on that side of town, they don't have fancy mall. All Walgreens body spray. I don't know what that smelled like, but despair, you know,
Who's that despair?
despair. That sounds awful. Despair.
Is that
Mediocrity.
Hey,
is that pear? No, that's despair.
That's despair.
That's despair.
That's terrible. But like, you know, I was going to give you the last segment to talk, but I want to bleed. I want you to be able to wrap it up with your thoughts about, you know, the military and wrestling. But like, just talking about, like, we were talking a little bit off the air, like that thing with Hogan and Slaughter. It got so hot and so personal. People were threatening to kill Sergeant Slaughter.
mhm.
So there, do you have to move, Kev?
Yeah, I was saying that Sergeant Slaughter's wife and kids, they had to move somewhere else because it was getting death threats at their house.
That is incredible.
Especially with no internet.
No internet.
Yeah.
Do you think that's good or bad?
Well, that's good heat,
Yes.
but it's a double-edged sword.
Mhm.
Because as a performer, you don't ever want to be in a situation where you fear for your life
Right.
by doing the job.
Yes. And really too, that was, you know, that match was kind of the end of Hulkamania in WWF. Like, you know, after that, we're getting into the Yoko Brett thing, and he was just started to taper off. But I thought the match was good at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Crowd was into it. Super patriotic, super American. But do you, in your opinion, Kev, like going back and looking at it in history, like, do you think it was disrespectful? Do you think that, because there's a lot of people even today that talk about that, like WWF was so out of pocket, they should have cut that angle off, they shouldn't have done anything with it. Do you think it was disrespectful, or do you think it was the right thing to do?
I mean, you can blur the lines between life things and then trying to blur it with the wrestling. It wasn't too much, but the thing is, for you to go after somebody else's family and doing death threats and stuff like that, that's where it draws the line. I mean, you can have the heat and everything like that, but going after somebody else's family just like that, that's stupid to me.
It's a lot. What do you think, Sarge?
I think if you run the angle correctly, that's what should happen.
Expand on that, because I agree.
I mean, if you present the angle the way it should be presented, not watered down,
Mhm.
protect kayfabe, don't let anybody know it's a work, it should end that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how else to explain it.
No,
If you end up getting death threats, that means it was a good angle. Now, that's the unfortunate side of it. I get what Kev's saying.
Mhm.
You don't ever want to be in that situation.
Mhm.
And they probably did the right thing by pulling the plug then, because they knew that it was getting too far. They couldn't ride that fine line they needed to with like an Iron Sheik, who probably never got death threats, but he was hated.
Really?
And Volkov, like
Yep.
they were hated, but there wasn't so much heat. But this is where the military aspect comes in.
Yeah.
You take a real life war and roll it into that angle, and buddy, it hits you right in the heart.
Yeah.
And
You're
that's what
exactly
put it over
right.
the top.
And to take it, like, I know this is kind of getting out of pocket a little bit, but like, take the Bolsheviks, for example. Like, we had a very real Cold War, you know, from the late 70s up until 1989, which very quickly could have turned into a hot war like that. And you had the Bolsheviks, even though they weren't directly a military gimmick, walking out there with the Soviet flag,
The fur hat,
the fur hats,
the jackets,
the jackets, and stopping to sing the Soviet national anthem. Now let's get it just for your edification out there, people. Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov were Russian, but they were very proud Americans. They were not really communists. However, they pushed that Cold War button super hard.
Oh, no doubt.
Like, we're going to take over America. Do you think they had death threats and
Well,
stuff?
think about what was going on at the exact same time in the rival promotion. The Russians had a threesome.
Yeah.
Ivan, Nikita, and Crusher
Khrushchev.
Khrushchev.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
Part of Paul Jones's army. And then after they left, they brought in 2 guys in mass and called them the Russian assassins.
Yep. And they pushed that button super hard. Rob Panel, real quick. Speaking of that, how hard is it to carry the World Heavyweight Championship in the business?
That's a whole
That's a great question, Rob.
on TV
Wonderful.
or
And can you type in the comments real quick? Are you talking about on TV for a national promotion?
indies
We're
or
talking about just in general, like on the indies. If you could type that in that real quick, that'd be good. But yeah, no, like I wonder if like Volkov and Zukov got,
I bet they did.
the
But-
death
but
threats
here's
and
the
things
thing.
like that.
Think about, okay, you have your Japanese wrestlers.
Yep.
Okay. You have your Samoans.
Mm-hmm.
You have your Russians. Those were like your 3 foreigners that were, and then
The big foreigners.
yeah, before the Gulf War, because
Mhm.
you weren't going to get any mileage out of a
Yep.
guy until the Gulf War.
Right.
So let's take those 3 Samoans. Why were Samoans hated?
Because they were savages.
Because they were considered
Savages,
Islander
yeah.
savages. They'll
Yep.
rip your head off if you get shipwreck or whatever.
Yep.
Why were the Russians considered bad guys?
Because of communism.
Yes. And then why were the Japanese? That's obvious because of
World War II.
Pearl Harbor. So it was very simple. Wrestling was very simple.
Yep.
There wasn't a whole lot of villains, or you had to be a big fat guy like Bundy,
Yeah. Like a goblet.
or you had to be like a mouthy guy like Piper,
Mhm.
or you had to be a god like Rick Rude or Orndorff.
Yes.
You know, there was no like American villain that looked like $1 million besides maybe a couple.
Yeah. And this popped in my head, even though it's like not even a military gimmick, but like Skinner.
Right.
Like he's an Australian dirty outback animal poacher.
Now here's something that's interesting though. The Mexican wrestlers
Yeah.
were always babyface.
Yeah.
Because there was
Not
such a fan base for them.
And not just Mexican, but Hispanic in general. Because you
Yes.
had like Pedro Morales,
Mil
You had-
Maskers
yep.
would come and tour.
Puerto Ricans. were
Chico
typically-
Santana.
Yep. Okay, so Rob answered me Chico Santana.
Yeah.
Will you stop? So Rob asked us how difficult is it, period. So that would be on the indies or in the on the national TV level. So I can talk about it. We got about 10 minutes
Go
left.
ahead.
You want to talk about it or
No,
do you want me?
You've been heavyweight champion everywhere you've wrestled. Talk about it.
So
What does it mean to be heavyweight champion? What had to have caused it?
wrestling is, of course, like it's a theatrical production. So did I really win a world championship? No. Is it the most important job in the company? Yes. It's the most pressure. You're on the poster, you're on the flyer. I'm wrestling this person, I'm wrestling that person. And this doesn't matter if you're John Cena or if you're wrestling in front of 14 people in front of a VFW hall. You've got to understand you're carrying that whole company on your back. It is up to you. And when the house is down, the first person, you're the quarterback. When you do well, you get a little bit of credit. When you do bad, 100% of the blame is on you.
Mm.
And then not only that, you have like a political target on your back all the time. Like when I was the Rockstar champion, the first one.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that disruptive crew came in. My brain wasn't that long because all they did was go to the office and be like, he shouldn't be him. It shouldn't be him. It shouldn't be him. It shouldn't be him.
Wow.
And then I feuded with Jock Sampson. I beat Jack Vaughn. I beat Jake Omen. I beat a couple other dudes. And then I lost to Aaron, who was part of their crew. Was it anything I was doing wrong? You were there. The crowd was very into what I was doing. I'm not saying that to brag.
Yeah.
I was doing what there's so much pressure, Rob, that goes along with being the heavyweight champion everywhere, or not everywhere you go, but just in general, because everything rides on you, the whole quality of the show. And typically you're going on last. So you're the very last thing that people remember. And it's a lot of pressure and it's really difficult, but it's also a lot of fun because just like, Sarge and, even Kevin, his life, we want to be the best we can be.
True.
And we can't be the best we can be until we're pushed to our absolute limit. And that's just what it is.
Also, one thing as a heavyweight champion, you normally have to check all the boxes.
Yeah.
And a lot of wrestlers cannot.
Yeah.
You have to be able to, you have to be polarizing.
Mhm.
You have to get people to react,
Yes.
whether it's good or bad. 2, you have to be able to talk them into the building
Mhm.
and out of the building and then right back in the building.
Yep.
You got to be able to work them.
Mhm.
3, you have to look good on a poster.
Yep.
People have to see you and say, I'm going to come watch this guy defend that title, or I'm going to watch him lose that title.
Right.
And I haven't even talked about the bell ringing yet.
Yep.
Now we're into the match. You have to be able to be a good storyteller. And then 5, you have to carry those matches because you are the champion. They are going to feed guys to you. Here, make this guy. Here, make this guy. Here, this guy's hot. The crowd wants to see him. You got to make him look like $1 million,
Right.
while also keeping yourself over,
Mhm.
and then also making sure that people want to see it again
Yeah.
and again and again.
And you got to be able to do it with everybody. So like you
Yes.
take like the American Giant, Buck Bresner, that
Yeah.
dude looks awesome.
Yeah.
But in the ring, he's 7'2".
Yeah.
He's not. It's
And
not like
older.
right.
Yeah.
So it's not like wrestling like a Rey Mysterio type.
Right.
So this show I could be against Buck Bresner hypothetically. Then the next show I could be against Sarge, and then the show after that I could be against
Ethan Evans.
Ethan Evans.
Or whatever.
I have to make all of them look like they're going to win the belt from me that night. And then as a heel, I'm yanking it out at the very last
Every
minute.
wrestling match, a guy will go over and someone should get over.
Yep.
If that happens, it's done its job. Move on to the next thing.
It's a point of pride to be able to make somebody. I
Yes.
love being able to make somebody. That's such a
Yeah.
great feeling.
Yeah. Dusty used to always talk about that.
Yeah.
And Terry Funk. Terry Funk would say the same thing. He's like, let me work with this guy. I can make this guy.
And he did.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. We got a couple minutes left. We'll bleed over here. But Sarge, I wanted you to wrap this up here and tell us about, just speak from the heart a little bit about the wrestling, the military, what Veterans Day means to you. Because you actually lived it. Like I said, I feel a deficit in my life because I was young and stupid. I should have served, even if it was just the bare minimum. Kev, did you ever want to serve?
Nah,
Wasn't your thing?
Nah, I was always the band. I was the band kid.
I got you.
So-
go ahead, let it rip.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I'll say that right off the get-go. People join the military for different reasons. Some people join the military because they have no other options.
Yeah.
I chose to join the military. I could have went to college. I turned down some sports opportunities plus whatever else I turned down. I wanted to go to the military because my family all were in the military. I didn't feel obligated, but I felt like that was what I should do.
Mhm.
My plan was not to retire, which I didn't. I got out, got a job. Everything worked out. I would not be in the wrestling business if I was not in the military first,
Mhm.
because I know what probably would have happened. I probably would have not been in the right place. I probably would have gotten the business, and I would not have been prepared as a person. The military prepared me for wrestling. It prepared me for life.
Mhm.
I can stand on my own in almost any situation and not get rattled because of my time in the military. It mentally turned on something, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I feel like some people I wish I could take them and just drop them in and say, here, you need this. Fortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But as far as wrestling, there's always going to be we've talked about it all night. There's
Yeah.
always going to be a parallel path that you can follow between wrestling and the military.
Mhm.
and you'll always be able to jump back and forth, whether it's your training, whether it's working shows, whether it's booking shows. It all ties in together, and it comes back to what I said earlier: discipline, respect, pride, and honor.
Mm-hmm. That's heavy because that's a big one. Honor is such a foreign, lost concept.
Yeah.
Because it's all about selfishness now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And honor is, like Kev, with you at church, honor is you're putting other people ahead of yourself.
Oh yeah.
Keeping your word.
Mhm.
What you do at church is big time stuff.
Yeah.
What you do in the military and do for your community is big time stuff. And honor is saying, okay, I've got these talents here, and I'm going to give back to my community for the betterment out of my own time and out of my own energy. And people talk about, I use the word pleasure, but what I mean is just like gratification, right?
Mhm.
Like I was on base, but there's no better satisfaction than helping other people. At least I don't think so.
I know me personally, I love to where I can sit there. I don't need it from other people, but I love to be able to sit there and sit in a chair.
Yep.
And just take a breath and go, you know what? I was able to help and bless this many people, even this day or this week or whatever. I don't need them to send me cakes and birthday cards or
Gold
thank
star.
you cards. I don't need any of that. I don't really care. It's not about that. And we could go into a whole thing about that biblically speaking too.
Sure.
But we're not going to do that. But from a wrestling standpoint, though, there's a lot of pride that should go into what you do. You should want to be good at what you do. You're in front of people. You're in front of your own family and friends. You're in front of other peers and people. It's online. You should take pride in what you're doing and want it to look good.
Yep.
And people do not. They unfortunately do not. They just want to be able to tell their buddies they wrestle. I want to be able to tell my friends that I'm decent at it. Not great. I want to say I'm decent at it enough to where people actually want to pay me to do it. Not, hey, I just show up and do it. And they're like, oh, yeah, here you are. You're doing this tonight. And then as soon as they walk to the ring, the promoter's going, oh, boy, this might not be very good. But I'm not worried about it because I'm not paying him anyway.
All friends wrestling.
All friends wrestling.
All friends wrestling,
Yeah.
right? All right. Man, that was a good show, man. It was a good conversation. Now, coming up here next couple weeks, Kev's going to be out next week, and then the week after that, we're going to have some talks about training next week. That's going to be the subject of the show. We're talking about wrestling training.
Are we going to do a War Games show?
We will do the War Games watch along.
Or are we doing a War Games episode?
No, because
Okay.
Thanksgiving is ESPN syndication
So what's on the dock for next week?
training.
Oh, we're okay. Next
Yeah,
week.
we're talking about wrestling training.
Okay.
The only reason we're not talking about War Games next week is because there's 2 shows after that, so we won't really have like the updated preview. But
Okay.
we can put something online probably as far as like a post goes.
Okay.
But next week we're going to talk about wrestling training because it'll be me and Sarge. We'll have someone else on the board. Week after that, we're going into ESPN syndication, and because we'll be in Thanksgiving, these guys will be with their families. I'll be at Ford Field watching the Lions beat up on the Packers. That's right. But that Saturday night is War Games. We won't have Sarge with us. He'll be at a fundraiser.
I'll
but
be
it'll
at
me and Kev. Justin Kidder will be in the house. Ryan Drake will be in the house. We'll be watching. And Michael Maxwell will also be in the house at Arrowhead. He always adds some good insight from Arrowhead attacks. And then, of course, mark your calendars for John Cena. We'll be doing a watch along in the traditional sense, but I'll be watching it live, most likely on StreamYard. You'll be able to comment. We'll be able to interact with each other. And we'll have a good time. We'll probably I'll cry. You? I will.
When I see Vince, I'll be choked up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's going to be there.
Vince will be there. And
This is the chance you could roll Vince out and it won't be
weird.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
They
literally
tested it with Brock.
it's literally like the end of wrestling as we know it.
Well, it's the end of that era.
It's the end of that era. It's the cap.
Batista's gone. Now Cena. Randy Orton's hanging on, but he's not like he was a heel for so long.
So part
So
time.
he's not like the definitive
Yeah.
guy from that era.
So we got a lot of stuff coming up. Mark your calendars. Join us. We love you. We love you watching us. And we love your feedback. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. Kev,
take care. Brush your hair.
Take care. Brush your hair.
Y'all be good.
Have you heard? Bath Creations has moved to their new location and showroom at 8741 North Kimmel Road in Clayton.
show, guys.
This gives you even